Welcome to GR Giving Day podcast. I've got with me 3 awesome nonprofits I'm excited to talk to today about what they got going on. So I want to hear a little bit about yourself, what your name is. We're going to go around the room and talk about that and what the organization you're with and the impact that you're creating. So why don't we start here and then we'll work our way around this way.
Okay, my name is Fridah Kanini. I'm the CEO and founder of A Glimpse of Africa, a local nonprofit that supports newcomers, immigrants, and refugees so they can have an easy navigation into our community. I originally come from a country called Kenya in East Africa, and now I call West Michigan home, and I'm grateful to be here.
How long have you been in West Michigan?
And 19 years since
19
2005.
years.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. And how long has the organization been around for?
Since 2019, but before that, it was mostly me thinking about how to find a safe space and ways to make it easy for a person like myself and all the challenges I went through to feel like it's not a lonely and welcoming space, but more of like you've moved here from another culture, another continent, another language, and coming to find greener pastures, but it becomes so hard.
Yeah.
And it's really... these are hard. It can be really daunting.
Yes.
If you don't have a support system that guides you through. So that's really when I started having those thoughts and where do I go from here? And I reached out to many people and started the journey. And 2019, we launched the first African Cultural Festival downtown. And unfortunately, immediately after was COVID. And I had just formed a committee, a board, to start moving forward, building programs. But then I was pulled very, very quickly into mitigating the challenges of a pandemic.
Yeah.
And
You didn't have that in the business plan.
and not a pandemic. I was not prepared, but it was brought in quickly. And since we had positioned ourselves in that space of we are building a space for African immigrants and refugees, and typically any newcomer, but mostly focused on the African languages and cultures.
Oh, you're okay.
Okay. And
Whose phone is you? If we can grab it real quick.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
yeah, so basically that was like, we have these challenges. We have people at home who can speak English. Children have to be homeschooled now, all of this. So I called out the committees that I was working with in even the first festival and the planning. And we made an impact committee and a COVID conversation committee, and we started doing online. I personally bought Zoom with my own money because, that was the first introduction to Zoom. Remember, we started with a program, another one that was called, International Conference. And from there, we couldn't figure out which one of the challenges to kind of troubleshoot, because everything was like, we don't know what to do. People are losing jobs. People are not sure how to go about anything. And there was also a rise in domestic violence and all that. And everybody is calling us at that point. So we just decided we'll start with a mental health and wellness conversation and creating a space for people to say how they feel. And so we started with a 3-day series of just people popping in online and discussing how they feel and where they are going. And I brought in a lot of therapists that have become good friends of mine. I remember a person called Dr. Forrest, other community members from my, the African community, anyone like I knew. I just asked them to sit and talk through what is exactly happening. So from there, really, we launched a full-fledged mental health and wellness, and we continued with the cultural celebration. We've done a lot of social needs programs. That's one of our other programs, is the social part of it, like immigration issues. As you know, fast forward, we had a shooting of Patrick Leoya at some point. So we just became this liaison to the city, to the county, to the state when it comes to our own community members. Most of the underlying values are really based on first of all, educating the community of who refugees are and why we are here, or immigrants. And especially, as I said, I have a huge focus on the African immigrants and refugees. When we come here, 100% our race is Black, but we have additional challenges with language, with culture.
Right.
immigration issues. So when you don't have data to show who the Black immigrants and refugees are, it's harder to know on top of racial issues and discriminations, there is additional intersectionalities of the challenges that a person like myself faces. So even when I was here as a new person, when I'm going through discrimination, I didn't even understand it. I didn't even know microaggressions because you're new and you're in survival mode.
Right.
You're trying to send money to your family. You have gone through war from country to country.
It's a lot.
So it's hard to understand. So really, basically, that's what we do. And we've about 5 programs, mental health and wellness. We do a lot of listening sessions for wellness and things like Know Your Rights. We do immigration workshops. We have, like, for example, this coming week, our food distribution with the cultural competency and language inclusion. We have a navigation program where we have people with the languages like Swahili, Kinyarwanda. They navigate the needs in the community and then they bring them to the county or to the city. And I have about 7 languages covered right now.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's that, and as I said,
A lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are the things. But we work with stakeholders in the Kent County. We just met with Jameela the other day to talk about, to see what they are doing about lead. Other things we are doing, of course, is economic empowerment and financial empowerment. So we run program where we support newcomers who want to launch like a business, not exactly like we give them money or anything, but connect them to resources. Let's say there's a program that they are not able to get to because of language or culture. So we bring that program in a very safe place where they don't feel intimidated. Yeah, so we've worked with a lot of partners here like Kizu Kitchen, Grow, and all that. So I can talk more.
Lots of stuff. Yeah.
Lots of great things. Yeah, thank you so much for giving us a space to create awareness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. How about yourself?
Yeah. Well, thank you for allowing me to be here to share a little bit more about what we do. I am Jameela Maun, the Executive Director of Healthy Homes Coalition of West Michigan. The organization has been in practice since 2006, and it's kind of evolved over the years. So initially starting off with a partnership with Get the Lead Out campaign in a partnership with the City of Grand Rapids. Most of our core focus is over direct services. So we work with families that are at risk of environmental hazards, so lead, radon, some indoor air quality issues. And then we create a plan that's completely directed by the family with providing support and resources. We do quite a bit of work around community education and advocacy, so dismantling the policies that are in place that's getting the results that we see now. So we're trying to aim more towards the prevention side so that children are protected versus being exposed to these risks. So very short nutshell, but that's what we do.
Important work. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have flashbacks to Flint, Michigan with the
Yes.
water crisis and all that. So
Yes.
it's very important.
Absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of folks don't know during that time of the Flint water crisis, some of the zip codes in Grand Rapids, 49507 and the surrounding areas had some of the highest children exposed and poisoned to lead in the state.
Oh my goodness. I had no idea. Oh my word.
Yeah.
Important work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for being here and sharing more about it.
Yeah, no problem.
Guess it's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn. You're up.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Dee Dee Taylor. And again, thank you for giving us the opportunity to share what we do and
Oh,
the
absolutely.
space to advocate for the people that we serve. But I'm Dee Dee Taylor, president and founder of Taylor Made Reentry nonprofit. Our overall mission is bridging the gaps between community, law enforcement, and justice-impacted citizens, creating spaces where they can all co-collaborate, being that there are so many stigmas around what all of the stakeholders do in the community. A little bit more in depth into what we do is we're inside of jails and prisons 6 months to a year before a person is released, providing hard skills, soft skills, educational skills, parenting skills, any skills needed for them to be successful once they are finally released. And then once they're released, they come right back to us with our more intense case management process where we dig down into those deeper barriers like education, housing, employment, and many other things that they face once coming home. Our overall day-to-day services includes case management, and as I said, because our population is so unique, we don't specifically have a specific service for each person. Everything is tailored to the individual
Custom.
once they come inside of our organization. So we overall hope to create a community where law enforcement can coexist, justice impacted individuals can coexist, and also community can comfortably coexist with all of those stakeholders that I just mentioned. So that's a little of what we do, but there's
Great.
many other things
Great
that
mission.
I can talk about.
That's awesome. I would love to hear more about some of the stories, actually. If you guys wouldn't mind sharing, maybe we'll go back this way, make our way back this way. If you wouldn't mind sharing, what's the origin story of your organization? And then what's a story or two that you've brought impact to, you've seen out of that has really touched your heart?
Absolutely. So everything that I do, Taylor Made Reentry, was created due to my personal life experience. I've never had a life experience with my father outside of incarceration. All of my visits with my father has been behind bars. Not to mention in 2020, my sister Breonna Taylor was shot and killed by law enforcement, making it where she would never have an experience with our father outside of incarceration. So as a little kid, I told my dad, I asked him, what did you do, first of all? And then he told me in small terms that he had did something really bad as a teenager, and had to pay his life for it. And as a kid, I let him know, nope, you're not paying your life for it. I'm going to get you out of here. And not knowing what that looked like as a young girl, I knew that education was the key for me. So what I did was I went on, got my criminal justice degree. I continued, got my social work degree with a minor in psychology. And then I began learning all things law. And that it has been an amazing experience because it has opened me up to an entire population of people that needed me more than I knew.
Yes.
So I'm really able to dive into those systematic barriers that individuals face, those cultural barriers, and many other barriers that individuals face due to my personal life experiences. So
Wow.
I can talk on and on about my personal life and why this is so important to myself and other community members. But this is literally my life, and I'm doing this because I love my community, my family, and I want everybody to be better throughout the criminal justice system.
Wow. That's touchy when you meet someone that this is your life's work. Yes. And that's just amazing.
Thank you.
So needed.
Thank you very much.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. So Healthy Homes was created by a cohort of individuals that represent the community. They were seeing an overrepresentation of lead poisoning in certain zip codes around Grand Rapids. And so, like I said, that started in 2006. We're very intentional on partnering with families to help advocate for other systems change. And so through those conversations, we hear a lot of testimonies from families. And one that really resonates with me is there was a family that originally contacted us for baby proofing. I'm a mom of 4. I have a little one as well that is in absolutely everything. And sometimes those little things can be really daunting, right? Like you're working on development, you're working on other kids in life. And so being able to come to an organization free of charge, be able to share what your current concerns are, but also looking at the bigger picture holistically. What do we see? And then let's create a plan together that's really navigated by the family. So we worked with this family who originally contacted us for baby proofing. We do work around unintentional injury. And from that conversation, it really opened up into, there were some other hazards that we found in the home around indoor air quality. And so we were able to provide dehumidifiers, air purifiers, and really create a family-centered action plan. So should these concerns present themselves, whether you're at this location or another location, really imparting them with the tools to be able to help mitigate it going forward.
I should have known you a while ago because my daughter was a preemie. She was born at 22 weeks. And so she has problems with breathing and things. And so when she was born, she's 5 now. She's a great young kid.
Awesome.
But we were really concerned about air quality and all these things and hazards.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I resonate with you. My son was born at 27 weeks.
You know.
Yeah. So still in the preemie journey, he's 1 now, but still following up with the medical professionals. They'll follow him for a year, but same thing. The breathing thing is usually one of the largest things that you see with premature babies. Yes. And so having other kids, it's like, where do I even start with all of this? So having an organization that can walk alongside
Super important. Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
I can relate very well with all of the other leaders here because I personally also went through very, very difficult time when, as I said, became came to Michigan or to US for the first time, you're coming with all of the hopes very high. You want to just really basically help everybody who is behind you, your family, remove them from poverty, give them a better life, because that's the dream. America is the land of opportunity, honey and milk. And you get here and the systems are not even created for a person like me. And so those systemic barriers are really, really big when it comes to like immigration. How do you adjust the cultural barriers? And I was here shortly and I lost my uncle. I lost my mom. My mom was diagnosed with cancer. She was my everything. I come from a family of a single mother, and my mom was, my livelihood. She was everything. I mean, she gave up her life to help us be anything. And coming from that background, I knew it was me holding the success for everybody in my hand. It's a culture of an African culture. You have to help your family. So you are nothing without them. And I was here by myself as a young person, just finished high school. I had like a little bit of training on some things. Like I had like a background in hospitality. And so I came through Florida, through Disney. So in that process, unfortunately, it took very long time to process my paperwork to become an American resident or citizen. And so in the process, I lost my mom, and I could never go there to see her. I couldn't be able to be a part of our journey. And also the same thing, I lost immediately after her, I lost my grandma. She was my second mom. And I lost my uncle before that. So I had three very, very important people in my life that I lost when I'm a young person. And now I have to really be full-blown parent for my siblings. They weren't young, all of them. My youngest one was 12 at the time. Now I'm living like two lives. I'm here, I'm there. I'm surviving mentally. I'm not even able to hold the jobs that I had. I'm starting to decline in my performance. And I didn't know I can get out of this. So this created this space in my head, like there has to be a way that we can just be able to speak up and talk about these challenges, or even tell the other person without fear of judgment. Because when you speak as an immigrant, most times people think of you are here illegally, or you are not here for the right reason, or you are these people who come and do this. So there's this judgment that surrounds you, and all you are doing is your best to build for yourself, for others. So really, this is where I wanted to educate the community about immigrants and refugees and the survival mode we go through. And without these systems, you can never be a better person. Here. So this is the birth of that. I'm also really naturally a person who loves giving back, because my mom was a social worker, and she taught me that what I do for others will be always that legacy that will be remembered about ourselves more than building material wealth. So I knew that when I have nothing else to give, I can give myself to support the community I love and to make sure nobody else at least goes through what I went through, losing everything, trying to achieve the American goals and dreams. But from there, of course, there has been so many testaments of great work that has come from this. First, when people really feel like they need help, they'll come to us because we have built that trust, and we become very intentional about how we do programming. The programs are created with apps, from bottoms up, with the community in mind, with the community being talked to. So that has been very, very critical in making sure the community is being served the way it's best for them. They can receive these services as if it was, another person who is going through it. Because a lot of times, if the program is created by a person who doesn't have lived experience, they just do it how they think. There are so many resettlement agencies, there are so many other programmers that serving immigrants and refugees, but the person is served from a perspective of an American. But we are serving them from a perspective of a person with lived experience. So most of my leadership, most of our programs are 100%, or at least 95% led by someone with either the competency or understanding of what it looks like to move around from country to country, or come from one country and come to another. So that has been a powerful tool for us. Many of the challenges that have been there have gone down because, for example, right now We have community health needs assessments that include us as Africans. I sit on the Healthy Equity Council at the Kent County. And for the very first time ever in Kent County, they have now been able to collect information with the race as Black, but also another line was added if you're an immigrant or refugee. And now we have data that shows our community members' challenges in the health equity space. Yeah, so we have those as testimonies and many others I can share as we go.
What a powerful story, man. Just like I hear around the table here, it's all coming from a place of experience, and what a amazing story to share. And thank you for going into that. So I really appreciate it, and powerful. And there's tons of others, I'm sure, like yourself that share your story, which is why you're doing the work you're doing.
Absolutely. If it's okay, I'll share one more. There's a lady that just came here. She was not aware when she was moving here. She was expecting. She found out when she got here she was pregnant. And the group or the company or the program she came through completely dropped her right there and then and started to pull away her paperwork. So she was stranded because she wasn't fit anymore to do the work or do the sports she signed up for because she's expecting. So she was no longer valid with her documentation. She was so on the verge of becoming homeless. And so we started working with her. She has now, we don't have houses to give someone, but we just worked with her and she was able to find a family that housed her. Just a friend from the church, from the church she goes to. And when she had the baby, they told her she has to go to a shelter because there are no programs, housing programs in West Michigan or anywhere that allow people without asylum or documentation. But luckily, so far, she now just got her asylum and she just got her apartment. And that journey she felt so supported, even though people like myself and the programs we run can offer housing, but she didn't feel alone going through this. So she's happily now living in an apartment. She's waiting to get her full asylum paperwork. Her baby is 1 year and 5 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a story. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, that's really an impact that you're making on that person's life. So
You're welcome.
Well, I would love to go around one more time and then talk a little bit about GR Giving Day, what it means to you, and then also what do you hope to get out of it. But how can someone get involved in your organization? How can they help? Maybe they can volunteer, or maybe they can give. Like, how does that look, and how do they engage with you? So why don't we start here and then go work our way back?
Thank you again for this opportunity. I'm so grateful for being a part of Giving Day in Grand Rapids. Thank you to the organizers. I'm really proud of this because giving and being supported is very key to the work we do. I've ran the organization as a founder with no funding at all for years. The first time I received some funding, I was crying and I didn't realize we deserve it because you do it for so long without anything and you start to get used to that. So being able to receive something to keep the work going is really, really powerful. And I think the Giving Day will be a center of that value of what it looks like to have funding to run the organization. And most importantly, also a support system, committees, people that can support in volunteer hours. So that will be really, really helpful. But definitely building capacity of small nonprofits or grassroots, it's really instrumental in sustaining the work we are doing. Because otherwise, it's not sustainable for me to run all this on my shoulders. So as passionate as we are, those who are founders, we want to do everything without limitations, but it's also going to burn us down to the ground and will not sustain the wonderful impact. So Giving Day means so much because it's going, first of all, to educate people on the power of supporting the work of all of these wonderful leaders, foundations, and also just giving us opportunity to fundraise together so we can be able to bring more funding to support the work. So I look forward to it. I hope more people can come along and give. And also, yes, please, if people can support me through volunteering, A Glimpse of Africa needs volunteers, it needs committees, it also needs funds. Yes.
Where can they go to do all that? Is there a website? Or is
Yes,
there,
we do have a website, aglimpseofafrica.org. They can sign up to begin with just to knowing the organization, send them an email from there. They can also send us an email to aglimpseofafrica@gmail.com or at aglimpseofafrica.org as an email as well. That would be a great way to reach out to us. And also our social medias. We do have a social media on Facebook, LinkedIn, of course, Instagram and all of the other social media. Actually, if people also want to volunteer to support our social media work, I'm happy to welcome youth and students to do that support system as well to create more social media impact for us. So yeah, definitely those needs, if they have any capacity, they can reach out to us through those systems.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Cool.
Thank you again for having me here.
Oh, yeah. My pleasure. I'm honored to have you guys on here because you guys are making real change. So it's really cool and humbling to hear from you guys.
And also they can visit our office, by the way, at 2025 East Beltline, Southeast.
Nice. Cool.
So like many other nonprofits, there's always this push and pull of bringing in resources to help sustain yourself long term. And so for us, GR Giving Day is the opportunity to reach small nonprofits in an inclusive way of what are your needs? What do you need to do and how can we support you? As an organization, we're looking to expand our reach. And so most of our programming services are deeply invested in the Kent County community. But we know there's work outside of that. We're the only ones in Kent County that provide direct one-on-one case management for lead impacted families. And so we're looking to expand our reach. And so for us, ways to partner are volunteering. We do take volunteering opportunities. Any areas to support capacity building, so work around submitting grants, and then solidifying more resources, financial and non, so that we can in return help support the community. We do quite a bit of work around community engagement as well. And so we have an organizer that works with families or individuals that are passionate about creating a change in their community. And so we host sessions every month. Come in, let's talk. What are you interested in? And let's build that space in the community around one another to create that change collectively. So looking for more folks to join that as well. But a result of GR Giving Day, what we foresee is, of course, capacity building, being able to build the operational support of healthy homes so that we can serve more families and protect more children.
Now, you said you hosting these sessions. How does
Yes.
someone get involved in attending or getting involved in those sessions?
Yeah, many different ways. You can contact us online. Our website is HHCWM, so Healthy Homes Coalition, westmichigan.org. We're on Facebook as well, Healthy Homes Coalition. We are also on TikTok and LinkedIn. Or you can shoot us an email or call the office at 616-241-3300.
Awesome. Cool. Lots of different ways.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
Okay, tailor-made reentry. One thing that we're very, very excited about, first thing, is the awareness that this is bringing to so many grassroots organizations that are sometimes overlooked or not donated to or not supported in a way that we need them to. Not to mention, this also gives me an opportunity to bring more awareness to justice impacted individuals because of the stigmas behind what it looks like for an individual to come home. And one fact that I like to keep with everyone or give to everyone, especially community members, is 95% of individuals who are incarcerated are coming home. And those individuals can be your neighbors. So why not create a system that support those individuals so that we're not trying to judge people or trying to be biased on what an incarcerated individual look like or what a second chance look like. So that's another great factor for us. Not to mention just all of the collective ideas and all of the collective knowledge that's going to be in a room on GR Giving Day. I'm just very excited to actually be in a room of individuals that I never get to see or I never get to speak to, not to mention donors. One of the largest barriers that I have as a nonprofit owner is especially a woman and also a Black woman is lack of funding, lack of opportunity, lack of knowing where those funding opportunities are, lack of knowing millionaires and billionaires. I don't just walk in a room of billionaires and millionaires every day. So just having that opportunity to be in a space where I can be heard and seen and advocate for others per se. So I'm just looking forward to growing our organization, sustaining, developing, and all of those great things from the GR Giving Day. And some ways that you can support us is through being a board member. We're looking for board members right now. We're also looking for volunteers, and of course donations, but really mentors. Really mentors. One major key to success for a justice impacted individual is having someone alongside of them, having someone in the community that understands them, that can support them, someone that just can be a friend to them throughout this process. So peer-to-peer mentors are invaluable for us. And just overall, any support we're open to having, especially with interns, ones that want to learn something new or just graduated and want to get their feet wet and so on. We do have opportunities for those individuals too. And our website is tailormadereentry.org. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and our name on there is tailormadereentry.org as well. So we are open to any support, and we would love to speak to anybody that reaches out to us. We can be reached from our website as far as in communication, or you can email us at dtaylor@tailormadereentry.org. So there's tons of ways to reach us, and we're excited to answer any questions or be of support in any way that we can.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, for sharing your stories, sharing how people get involved. I am honored that you guys are on this podcast and humbled by the work you guys are doing. So thanks again. And for those that are listening, go to grgivingday.org and check out the website. There, I think all of you guys are on there as well. So that's another way you can access these amazing founders. So, and support them. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate your time.
And if I can say lastly, we all have a goal that we're trying to reach for GR Giving Day. So if you want to really support us, going
hit
to
that goal.
hit our goals or help us achieve those goals.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.